How do you do, fellow kids? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me in these pressing times. Iceberg videos are one of my favorite form of video type essay content on YouTube. I've noticed these have become increasingly popular in the past couple of years. I love them, and I'm always excited to learn something new about a topic I'm interested in. And that being said, A Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite film franchises of all time, and I have yet to see an iceberg video on this specifically, so I thought I would just go ahead and make one myself. Fair warning, I've never made an iceberg video, so this is not very polished or neat, so I'd love to see someone better at making videos maybe redo this and make it nice and, well done. I do intend on making more of these iceberg videos, however, because there are just so many topics I want to know more Easter eggs and theories about, especially other horror franchises and childhood TV shows that I watched as a kid, things like that. So if you're interested in any of these like I am, keep your eye out for more of that to come. I speak in this video under the assumption that if you're watching this, you are likely a fan of this series, or at least know enough about these films to get the references and understand the context. I found this iceberg on Reddit under the r/iceberg chart subreddit, and it was posted by Reddit user slippery_sizoth, so shout out to them if you're watching this, and I know you are. Thank you for making this. There are 8 tiers here, and I'll be going through each tier and explaining each subtopic within them, starting from the top of the iceberg with the most well-known topics, to the very depths of the ocean holding the lesser-known, more abstract topics. Okay, any questions? I think I've given a long enough spiel, so we'll start here. This is the Nightmare on Elm Street iceberg. Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 6. There were 6 original Nightmare on Elm Street films, released spanning from 1984 to 1991. A Nightmare on Elm Street is the complete title of the first movie, and the following 4 movies also partially share that movie title, with A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, 3, Dream Warriors, 4, The Dream Master, and 5, The Dream Child. The 6th movie in the series is called Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare is a 1994 film and the 7th film in the Nightmare franchise. This movie does not follow the continuity of previous installments and kind of breaks the 4th wall, with Freddy being portrayed as a fictional character crossing into reality and causing terror to actress Heather Langenkamp, who in this movie plays herself, but who had previously played final girl Nancy Thompson in the first film, and returns as a therapist for the Dream Warriors in the 3rd film. Freddy vs. Jason. Freddy vs. Jason is a 2003 crossover movie that brought together slashers Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees from their respective franchises to initially work together, as Freddy had attempted to recruit Jason to help him kill the teens of Springwood, but eventually leads to conflict between the two as Freddy realizes that Jason is not as easy to control as he once thought, and ends in an epic battle to the death. 2010 remake. The 2010 remake of Nightmare on Elm Street followed a similar plot to the original, with Freddy Krueger being killed by parents of Springwood preschool children, and returning from the dead to seek revenge on the children as teenagers for his death. It's mostly the same, to be honest, except for a few difference in characters, updated visual effects, maybe a little more psychological horror, and Freddy is played by a different actor, Jackie Earle Haley, instead of Robert Englund in this film. Most people I know prefer the original to this remake. I rewatched the remake recently, and it's okay. It's very mid, to be honest with you, but it's watchable. Johnny Depp in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Johnny Depp's first movie role was playing Glenn Lance, Nancy's boyfriend, in the first Nightmare on Elm Street film. He arguably has the most memorable death scene in the film by being sucked up into his bed after he falls asleep, and the bed spraying out his blood and guts upwards towards the ceiling and flooding it. Even if you haven't seen this movie, this is a pretty recognizable visual effect. Many people know this scene, and when you think of Nightmare on Elm Street, this is probably the death you think of. As previously mentioned, Nancy Thompson, played by actress Heather Langenkamp, was the final girl of the original Nightmare on Elm Street movie, who returns in Dream Warriors as a therapist knowledgeable in the ways of Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund and Jackie Earle Haley. Robert Englund is the actor that played Freddy Krueger, for the 6 movies of the original series, Freddy vs. Jason and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Jackie Earle Haley played Freddy in the 2010 remake. Freddy Nursery Rhyme. This is in reference to the nursery rhyme 1-2 Freddy's Coming For You, which is an adaptation of the English nursery rhyme 1-2 Buckle My Shoe. This is sung by children dressed in white and playing jump rope at various points during the course of the series, usually appearing in the nightmares of Freddy's victims. Okay, so that was the end of Tier 1. The rest of the iceberg will be split into several smaller videos as I am recording this video on my phone and editing it on my phone, so it is harder to make one big video rather than a couple smaller videos. So these will be coming out one after the other. So stay tuned if you enjoyed this video and want to see the rest of this iceberg. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're interested in these kinds of videos, and I'll see you later. Bye.